Hello guys, this is Miss Fingler. Welcome to the A-Level Fine Arts virtual open evening presentation. I do feel like a YouTuber. This does feel very strange, and I'm afraid that it's a shame that you can't come into the department in person, but I'm going to talk you through some of the work that we do at Challoner as part of the A-Level course, as well as the information about it, how it's structured, and the experiences that you're going to have as an A-Level art student. So a lot of people ask me how it's different to GCSE, and really we structure the course very similarly to GCSE, but obviously on a more mature and even bigger level, I would guess. The concepts that you explore are much more independent and much more individualised, depending on what you are interested in. So it's not as if you have got to do landscape or natural form or figure. It depends on what you want to do. So it means that really it's a very personal subject to take, because you get to experience different artists, different ideas that you might be passionate about through a creative visual arts way. The work is obviously larger scale. You will have seen that whilst walking around Challoner. The A-level art is everywhere, it's huge, and that's because we want to create exciting artists and people who are curious and want to really say something with their work. So we make sure that you're working to a large scale. Quite early on you work to A3 in your sketchbooks, and then bigger than that in your development work as well as your final piece. You have both myself and Miss Baptiste as your art teachers. We share a class, and that's really great because it means that you get two types of styles of art, two different voices to help you, guide you through your artistic journey. And it means that students like working across both the rooms. So it might be in a free period that you have some time that you want to create some work during one of our rooms during that time, and it means that we really structure it as if it is a foundation course at university, as opposed to structuring it as kind of a add-on to GCSE. You are seen as real life artists, which is very exciting. The mediums that you're going to be exploring as an A-level fine artist are similar to what you're used to at GCSE, but it means that we do it on a much more mature level. So it might be that you're painting with oil paint much more than you were used to if you ever did before. It might be that you're using the printing press to create work, or you're doing installations or video and sound. It really depends on what your project is about, what artists you look at, as well as what you're interested in doing. So it might be that if you study media, that you want to involve your knowledge of movie making in that. It might be that if you've done product design in the past, that you want to include more sculptural work. So yeah, it really depends on the person and their practice, but a lot of these, you will use a lot of them and get experience of a lot of them, because we make sure that we workshop them early on. We are a very popular and busy department, and quite messy too, but it's purposeful mess. It's there for a reason. And we have 26 students in year 12 this year and 17 in year 13, so a massive A-level cohort, which is great because it means that we're a much bigger community. It means that there's some really great work going on around the room. It doesn't mean that the teaching is stretched, it just means that you can bounce off each other more. Yeah, and we consistently get high grades, not to boast about it or anything, but we are very strong at getting high grades. It's a challenging course, it's difficult. I'm not going to make it sound easy. It's not easy to get these grades, these high grades, but it means because of how we structure it, because of how we push you, me and Miss Baptiste, we make sure that we really pull you towards your strengths and really extend those further. So last year, out of 6 students, we got 3 A stars, 1 A and 2 B. So half the students got A stars, and hopefully lots more in the next year as well. As I said earlier, your artistic practice is very personalised depending on what you're interested in. It might be that you're quite a hyper-realist drawer, like you can see on the left here, a picture of Bob Dylan. It might be that you're more expressive and want to use palette knives and work on cardboard and be much more expressive and have that movement in the work. It really does depend on your style and your theme as well. These are actually 2 large-scale pieces, and this is a sketchbook piece in oil, but you can see that everyone's very different, and it means that everyone in the room has very different work. So it's really exciting because you're all very different people and you can reflect that. The exam is 15 hours across 3 days, which freaks people out, but please don't be freaked out by it. It is planned, it's the same as GCSE, so there's just some election stuff there, brilliant. It means that it's pre-planned. It depends on what your creative journey has been in the sketchbook, and it means that at the end you then get to have a kind of like a resolved piece based on that experimentation throughout your book and what your creative journey is. And that's usually the large scale pieces you see around the school are the final pieces for those projects. People say to me, oh, I'll never be able to do A-level art, I'm not good enough, and that's a load of rubbish. If I've spoken to you and said that you should be doing it, that's because I know that you'll do well in it, and if I haven't yet, that doesn't mean I don't think you should do it. You know, it's a course that we structure so that from year 11 you're not meant to look like A-level students at that point. We build you up to get to that point where you feel comfortable and feel confident creating these large pieces with materials you've never used before, and we do that through workshops. So at the beginning of year 12 and year 13 we workshop different materials and processes with you, different concepts. We talk about conceptual art, and that really draws out those skills from you as learners. You get to exhibit your work at Margaret Street School of Art, which is the university in Birmingham. That's where I went a long time ago now, and you can see here this is the painting studio, which is beautiful. It's got loads of natural light in it, and you get to exhibit your work in the summer of year 13 there, alongside other schools from the South Network in Birmingham. Our work is known for having taken up the most space, and everyone gets annoyed, but it's really, you know, impressive work that needs to be exhibited, and actually students do get commissions from this. We have a private view where members of the public can come round and have cheese and wine and get to look at the art. So you're like real professional artists at this point, and people have got commissions in the past from members of the public asking them to make pieces of work and paying them for them too, so that's quite cool. We do a trip to London every year, so year 12 and 13 go together with myself and Miss Baptiste, and we visit lots of different galleries, different exhibitions, and you get a little bit of shopping time too as well, which unfortunately is what everyone's excited about as opposed to the artwork. You can see here that we go to the National Gallery, which a lot of these images are taken in, the National Portrait, the Tate, the Saatchi and the Royal Academy, and this is where you get to see the real life sunflowers by Van Gogh, and you get to see some of the really amazing large scale, you know, masters traditional paintings, as well as some contemporary pieces too. This is a fantastic day, which means that students really get to engage with art as, you know, it exists in the real world, as well as being a fun day as like a little artistic community of Challoner kids, where you guys get to go and do little scavenger hunts of finding different artworks around the room, and yeah, kind of seeing which one you look like the most, and having some fun. And this last year we went to Lucian Freud's self-portrait exhibition and the pre-Raphaelites, which a lot of the year 13s use as part of their English A-level as well, because they looked at particular poems that reflected and was inspired by those paintings. So it really works with your other projects as well, and your other subjects, should I say. So I'm just going to leave this quote on here for a second while I take a drink, because I'm running out of breath. I think art is the only subject that is of its kind. You know, it's known for that. People want to do it. It's a great subject to do because it's so different to the other ones. It's not as academic. It's not as, you know, heavily content based. It is the only subject of its kind at Challoner that is so creative and teaches you about yourself as well as about the world around you. So it's very individual to you. It's a space where actually as young people you need to be growing that knowledge of yourself and the world around you, and this is a fantastic way of doing it. You don't have to be want to be an artist. That's what's really important. Art gets you in, opens doors to other realms, both metaphorically and physically. For example, Angelo a few years ago wanted to do medicine, and he actually didn't get the highest grades in biology and chemistry. His art got him into Hull to do medicine, and now he's trying to be a doctor. And if you want to go in that way and go to veterinary science and things like that, art is really great because it teaches you dexterity and it teaches you problem solving, and lots of things that lots of universities look at. Art is wanted by universities, no matter what you might think. It really is, people see it as a really strong subject to have because it teaches you resilience and problem solving and independent thought. It teaches you about yourself, about how to question things, about how to debate, about how to create stuff. You know, takes quite a lot of power and quite a lot of skill to be able to be an artist and say something with your work and create something and put it out in the world. So it's not just fine art and history of art and fashion that people go into. It is into other things too, that it lends itself to. So keep your options open, I would say. you know, if you enjoy it and you enjoy studying it, why wouldn't you take it? Because while it's going to be, a great 2 years, but also it is still going to keep those doors open for you for things that aren't necessarily what you think art would lend itself to. So I've spoken a lot. I've tried to fit it all into 10 minutes. I nearly did it. It's a shame that you can't ask questions to myself in person or Miss, but we are in our classrooms as usual, and if you want to email us, if parents, carers or yourself want to email us any questions about the course, then please do. As I said, it's a shame you can't see the work, but if you walk around Challoner, if you've been around Challoner before, you will know that it's kind of everywhere. It's celebrated here. We take it very seriously. We want you guys to have an engaging, exciting artistic practice and learn a lot about yourself as well as the subjects, and we can't wait to have another massive cohort this year. So take care, look after yourselves, and any questions, just let us know. Thanks.